Napokuwa napikia hizi kuni huwa najisikia vibaya. Kama upande wa macho nasikia maumivu. Moshi unaponiingilia machoni na moshi mwingine unaniingilia kifuani. Au unakuta najisikia vibaya, alafu wakati mwili mzima unapokuwa na joto. Ndio matatizo yetu haya baba.
There is millions of people who depend on these ways of cooking. Being poor is difficult and is unhealthy, even dangerous to our bodies and to our planet. But sometimes these solutions can be so simple. We need a new source of heat to fix this problem. Well, we have an overabundance of one thing here in Africa. The sun. This is where my friends and I are trying to change the ways poor people live. Welcome to Tanzania Mara region.
I went to Tanzania with Lynn, my husband, maybe 7 years ago, just to visit, and I kind of fall in love with the people. And I saw the disparity between how much we have here and how little they have there. So I decided that I wanted to do my part into trying to bring that to more balance and to help them to find the solutions to their problems.
In Tanzania, we don't have a dictator, we don't have war, we have only poverty. Totally in our region, life is very, very difficult indeed. Very difficult. If you go to the area of medication, most of us, we are not able to afford the medication cost. If you go to the area of food, really we don't have enough food. If you look to the area of water, there is a problem. We don't get safe and clean water.
We find the problems that they are facing by talking with them. And we try to research what will be the best solutions to those problems that will be sustainable, will be cheap, will be organic, will be friendly with the environment, and will be something that they can do without depending on us all the time.
Sababu hapa kwetu kuna ukame. Unaweza ukalima chakula sawa. Mvua imenyesha hivyo, imeanza kama mwezi wa pili, unaona matumaini. Ikifika hapo mwezi wa 3 inakata. Kisha kata kama ni mahindi yananyauka moja kwa moja. Sasa unakuta chakula.
Many of the people have hunger. They don't have enough food to eat. Nearly 75% people are suffered with malnutrition. The food is not enough.
Tanzanians, poor Tanzanians, that's a majority, eat very, very meager meals. And their meals are basically rice, cassava, and maize. And if they are lucky, they get beans. And that's basically the extent of it. Even vegetables are expensive in the market, and most people, they eat very, very little vegetables or none. Most people in the area are malnourished, and some of them, they are starving. So the life expectancy of Tanzanians is only 42, 45 years of age. That's so different from Westerns.
Most of the people normally buy from the market. Where the food from the market comes from? It comes from the farmers, subsistence farmers. Sometimes the land is very little. It's not enough. So if there is no way of just maintaining the low amount of rain you received, you will not harvest at all. So that is hunger.
The agriculture here is not feeding everybody. And because it's not feeding everybody, it makes people to wonder whether they need a lot of external support or not. The government is giving a lot of bags of maize, creating dependence syndrome. And sometimes they think they are useless themselves.
We have seen that international aid that comes to the countries and drops all kinds of supplies and drops food and drops stuff usually is not a real solution. So we support the communities to support themselves.
We have to stand up and do something. Let's make a sustainable agriculture project. Let's teach people how to fish rather than to give them the fish.
For a couple of years, we have been supporting 75 families that have taken in 8 orphans. So we decided in December to teach them how to produce their own food.
We came here from Zimbabwe with my colleague Elias Mulambo. It has been all our wish to share with the rest of Africa on what we call permaculture. Permaculture is a permanent culture, agriculture and culture that are sustainable, that link together. We are replicating the natural way of things like a Garden of Eden or just a jungle or a food forest. The better you feed the earth, the better the production comes, the healthier the people becomes as well. The first day in the farm, it was quite interesting to see the land ourselves. The land was not used at all. It was like a football pitch.
It was very stony, very dry, very cheap, so that even when it is raining, all the nutrients from the soil were just taken by the water and just going to the lake.
And then we could imagine, oh, how are we going to really start designing here? We had to make up a strategy together with the whole group of harvesting the water now. That was our first priority.
The permaculture normally we not like to see the water is lost. So we normally put the swells.
We want to make sure that every single droplet of water is sunk in the soil so that it can be used by plants.
The water is actually it's moving like this and it's coming back and go like this. And the water is seeping down. The idea is to capture the water and bury it down to make it sink. And then it will appear down to the lake when it is clean and leave all the nutrients here. And then we had to teach the farmers the land use plan. That is where to place what. When you do permaculture, everything in the garden is interdependent. If you have gotten a chicken run, for example, placing it on the right place, the manure will flow on their own into the garden and really make the garden fertile. Garlic, you can eat it. At the same time, you can use it to spray as a repellent to pests. The legume is going to drop a lot of kind of organic stuff down there and make the land really appreciable. At the same time, creating mulch and harboring the microorganisms that are our workers in permaculture. We call them our workers, but they're the ones who loosen the soil and make compost. So the more you connect these elements, the more you make that community, plant community stable.
These are the dry leaves of the plants. Yeah? They are decomposing, you see? They are decomposing. There are also organisms here. These are millipede. Yeah? And these are ants. In the nature, they are just adding to the soil nutrition. When these ants die, when decompose, it makes nutrition to the plants. When this millipede die, it makes also nutrition. When it excretes, it also makes the soil fertile. We like so much these things. So we keep the nature. So the nature means everything is good for the soil, and depending each other. We normally uproot those who are needed, wait, but the others we leave it for the fixing of the soil and even the cover of the soil. Like this one, we are not hoping to harvest any more from this one, but these are ground covers. So this is a permaculture, but in other ways of farming, all the weeds, whether it is a needed one or needed ones, they remove from the ground, and they leave the ground just exposed to the sunlight, which normally can dehydrate the land because the water is just by evaporation is taken away. Yeah. For example, this is another also method, interplanting, mixed cropping. This is marigold. It's good for the tomatoes. We didn't apply any chemical insecticide, but it's just with planting here marigold, here tomato, marigold, tomato, onions, just mixing like that. So mixing of the crops normally confuse the insects getting to the garden. Nothing from the chemical industries is applied here. So it is healthy like that in permaculture ways.
In a small garden, right on the ground, we plant sweet potatoes. And on top here, you can plant something like strawberries. Just up here, you have tomatoes. And on top here, you might have guavas or oranges and so on. There are a lot of layers like that. The harvest is so huge, such that you can't really expect that a small land can give you such kind of harvest. It makes me excited to be here in Kines and start that demonstration really. Because I see it opening a lot of people's eyes, and people will say, oh, what is this? And they really see the world in a new way. Different kind of stage of seedling. You know, when you are planting your plants like this, they can feel you love them. And you can see how they are growing because you are doing everything. Like these people are there to learn how to grow food into their farms, and at the same time, whatever they are going to grow there, they will start to give the orphans as an appetizer. They replicate their knowledge that they have been learning there, they will actually grow some things in their own plots. That will foster the ownership of this process into people's homes, and the people themselves will become natural teachers.
In this area, the women are the one responsible for preparation of food. This actually represents millions of people who are suffering with the problem of cooking with the firewood in smoke rooms.
Nje tunashindwa, maana wakati wa kiangazi kuna jua kali. Kipindi cha mvua tuna usumbufu wa mvua, ndio maana tunaona tupitie kwenye kajumba hivi. Tahadhari ya kuroana.
Napika, natumia kuni. Gharama hizi ni kubwa kwangu. Ni kubwa kwangu hii gharama kununua kuni. Naweza nikatumia 500 huko milimani.
They are using a lot of time, most of their time on collecting firewood for cooking. And they are using a lot of charcoal. We depend on charcoal. Charcoal is made from cutting of trees. You cut trees down and then you burn it. We destroy our own trees. We know that. But the problem is that we don't have any other alternative. Any person can come and say that stop cutting this tree. And I have no any means of or any different alternative on how can I survive. So I don't stop cutting some trees.
Nilipoona mzee Joliga akaja kuniambia wakati wa mafunzo haya, nilisema wewe ni muongo. Jua liwezi kuivisha chakula. Nikakataa.
Solar cooking is not a miracle. It's something from scientific. A ray from the sun beats the white aluminium, it bounces, it comes back to the black pot, and the black pot absorbs that heat, puts the pot into the special plastic, tie it. That heat remains there, it cooks what is in the pot, and food is cooked. It's not miracle. Initially, when we started to introduce this idea, when I gathering with my neighbors and they say that, oh, this is a solar cooker, they say that you are maybe you are a witch. This piece of paper does not cook some food. And I say that let's prove. And we wanted to prove with you, and I give them the chance to buy any kind of food which is available within our area. And we taste it together. They say that really I appreciate on it.
Sasa tulipokwenda kushiriki mafunzo, inabadilisha. Naweza ikatubadilisha, na wakati wa kwenda kutafuta kuni, tutafurahi kuwa tunapata kitu cha kupika, hamna kwenda kutafuta kuni kwenye milima huko.
We just be burned with the sun for a long time, and we can't benefit with this one. Oh God, now we come up to the solution. We have a solar cooker. Our training actually depends much on these women groups. Trying to train women group on the issues of solar cooking, how solar cooking works, the advantages of using solar cooking.
Wala ni jasho. Napika tu nimetulia, hata kama chakula kikiiva na kula tu kwa raha. Mimi nafikiri naweza kusuluhisha.
When we first started working in Musoma, in Mara region of Tanzania, we were focusing more on microfinance and focusing somewhat on alternative health and focusing on support of orphans. But while we were working in these areas, we would talk with people in villages and we would discuss the priorities and the problems that they had. We had one meeting in Kinesi village once where the people that we were meeting with said that their biggest problem and their highest priority was clean, safe water. Their second priority was clean, safe water. Their third priority was clean, safe water. Their fourth priority was malaria. And their fifth was education. And we found similar ideas in most all of the villages we went to, and the water situation there is just terrible. Most villages don't have a clean, safe source of water. Some will walk 5 to 10 kilometers one way in order to collect dirty, polluted water.
I'm trying to look at the places and to meet with the women who just facing some water to discuss the difficulties of the community at large.
Kama sasa hivi ambapo tunakuja huku kwenye kazi, inabidi ni
actually they are suffering with the water problems. Since she wakes up since morning until evening, really, she don't have even a single minute of having a rest. And this seems a very problem. And the water which they have just facing, they don't satisfy the whole family. So it's very terrible. Kule kuna ziwa.
Sasa huyu mama anachota haya maji.
natumia kunywa, kufuria, kuosha vyombo, yani mara 12.
Mara 12.
Hey,
Saa zingine watoto hawezi wakaenda shule kwa ajili ya kazi ya maji.
Water is the source of many of their problems, especially health-wise. Many of the families have lost 1 or 2 or 3 children to diseases related to the unclean water.
Yaani cha kwanza maji ya kichocho, kuharisha ni mara kwa mara, yaani tumbo huwa linahara mpaka uchemshi.
Mimi nikifika nikuchuja naweka mtungini. Alafu naweza nikayakaliza kwa muda mrefu kuvundika tu ili kuchemsha hamna.
Okay. Hebu leta nikusaidie kidogo, maana sasa hii yataka moyo hii, maana maji haya. I'm not okay indeed. I'm not okay because even the backbone is just very good. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Totally not okay. I think let's just put it off. I think these women actually have a problem.
I don't even remember exactly when I first heard about what's called among many people primary water. The very simplest explanation of primary water is it's water that's generated inside the earth in abundant amounts, and it finds its way up through fractures and fissures to the surface. This water is available in almost all parts of the world. Now, this is a very revolutionary idea. There's very few hydrologists that will take it seriously, but there's been a number of people over the last 200 years who have discovered this and who have utilized this knowledge to great advantage in finding water. The trick is to be able to spot areas that are likely to have water near the surface. So typically we find in that area that the bedrock is quite close to the surface of the ground. You know, in Africa there's a lot of rock that extrudes from the ground, so it's very close. And we generally find that after an average of maybe 30 to 40 meters, 100 feet or so, we begin to encounter water in fractured bedrock.
Tangu nani umeshakuwa mjuaji sana.
Sasa nilipoleta nikwambia keki kinafungua. Bado kuna ile ile dawa. Dawa.
We have all water tested by the government laboratory. It's generally of a very high quality water. It's typical of bottled water because it's deep in the ground and very protected by overlaying layers of bedrock.
Tunasikia vizuri sana kwa kijiji kwetu hapa.
Mnafurahi sana.
Tunafurahi sana maji.
All of the village have just feeling well, feeling okay, feeling good because we have some water around. We are giving the local ownership of the borehole.
Unafunga, kuna moja unazulilia, nyingine inatai. Inafunga,
in the process of drilling this well, the community members of this village contributed, I can say, 25% of the total cost. and that well now will be owned by the community. I've been talking to some community members that they are very happy, and from now they'll drink clean and pure water. They'll never use salt and mud water anymore. Cholera, typhoid, and other waterborne diseases will no longer be in this area. And people will be more clean, will be using clean water and safe water all the time. So their clothes will be white, very clean, their food will be very nice. So no more diarrhea diseases.
One day, my wife was just going to visit her mother, and she go with my kids. There is a twins. There is a twins. So she go with these 2 kids. After 3 days, then she came back from the village. One of my kids is just suffering. He's just trembling, shivering a lot, and vomiting. After a few minutes, he vomit. After a few minutes, he vomit. So I take a decision to run into the hospital. And after making a blood test, they found that there is a lot of malaria viruses found. Actually, the doctor tries their level best at least to make my child to be alive. So it's just taking time, just looking for the blood veins, so that they can just inject some of the medicine through water. But after almost 1 hour, the situation of my child is just going worse. I consulted the doctor to ask how the situation is going. They say that no problem so far. This is how the medicine is just working. But after another day, the next day, my child passed away with malaria. I'm totally so sad.
Malaria is dangerous, and we are living in the region of the mosquitoes, a lot of mosquitoes. Malaria is a tropical disease which normally transmitted by infected mosquito. When they inject, they sting you. They just leave the parasite to your blood. These malarias affected the people's life. It is not so easy 1 month to pass without one among the member of the family to be suffered from malaria. And if that one is suffered from malaria, now you have to find money and just take the sick person to the hospital. And that is a lot of money.
They have medication that they have to undergo and take medicine, but the medication is very, very expensive. So that they won't afford it all that much. And it do happens in a very poor family. It's where we get these people. And maybe he won't afford the medication. So it's really the time that they just die.
Malaria is killing more than HIV/AIDS. Yeah, it's killing more than HIV/AIDS. And malaria, you can just have malaria just in a week. Only 1 week you can die.
Malaria is the number 1 killer diseases. It's the number 1. After that problem happens to my family, I tried to inform Tala, a director of Global Resource Alliance, how the problems of malaria caused my child to pass away.
He told me, I hope, madam, that you will find a solution to malaria. And I said, well, I don't know that, because there are so many people trying to find a solution, and I didn't know much, but I'm a researcher. So I start to look into different ways to prevent and treat malaria with natural means.
Neem is a tree. It was not indigenous in Tanzania. It comes from India. more than 2,000 years ago. The Indian were using neem.
It's one of these magical trees that can be used for skin conditions, for parasites, for fungus. So we discovered that the Light Foundation in Kenya had been using neem to prevent malaria since the year 2000 with very good results.
When the mosquito is injecting a person and found the person, the blood has got neem drops, it sterilizes the parasite injected by the mosquito. So it keeps the blood clean for all time. These are a malarial treatment. This is Artemisia annua. Artemisia is a hybrid plant which is recommended by the World Health Organization just to be used to kill the malaria parasite in the blood. My interest nowadays, I need to solve many of the problems naturally. If it is a disease, just solve it naturally using herbal medicine.
Another thing that we have started to use to treat malaria that I am really excited about is called MMS, Miracle Mineral Supplement. This is something that a man called Jim Humble developed a few years ago. It's a formula, it's a mineral supplement that combines sodium chloride, which is different from chloride, with citric acid to produce chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide is being recorded as the strongest pathogen killer that exists. We are working, for example, with a nursery school. The last medical test showed that out of 200 children, 41 of them had malaria. There's a huge amount of children with malaria. This time we decided to give a try to MMS because we have been experiencing enough with children and adults to know that it's very safe if you give it in the appropriate dose. Out of 41 children with malaria, all of them were healed completely, no malaria parasite, in 2-3 days of treatment. So very exciting results.
Watu wengi wamethamini waugue malaria, wasilale kwenye chandarua. Huwezi ukaweka tu yule mtoto yatima au na mazingira magumu ndio akawa tu kwenye chandarua. Tuna dawa tofauti na za hospitali, tuna dawa za aina 3. Kuna moja inaitwa Artemisia, nyingine inaitwa MMS. Sasa hii inaitwa neem drop. Ili pamoja na kutumia vyandarua, muendelee kutumia madawa haya. Hayana athari kabisa kwenye mwili. Tuko pamoja? Kwa kweli. Pole sana. Halo. Kitu ambacho ni cha maana zaidi ni kwamba hizi dawa ninyi mna uwezo wa kuzitengeneza wenyewe. I have trained more than 20 groups of the people in different villages how to make and prepare in a quality ways so that they can keep just doing themselves and helping each other, to their families and to the other surrounding communities. So that we can all together, join together, unite together for fighting this enemy.
You can't just wait until the problem just going big and big. By distributing this mosquito nets, by trying to train on the use of MMS, neem drops, Artemisia, and the other herbal medicines. This is actually Global Resource Alliance tried to look a simple solution on how
we can combat on malaria.
Mambo vipi?
Salama, habari ya kwako? Salama, habari ya kwako?
Nzuri. Alafu na tuta lingine tena tumetengeneza kule.
Generally, the farm is growing well, and we expect it to harvest more due to, as you see, the beans, it's just growing well, and they are very happy to proceed with this kind of work.
Ndio maana ya kilimo cha Permaculture.
Ndio Permaculture.
Ndio Permaculture. Kuna huko
magimbi.
Yako huko.
Okay, twende. Maana this is tomatoes.
Tunategemea kuvuna ili tupate mavuno, yani tupate mali mbe. Tukishapata mali Permaculture tayari. Tayari.
Families involved in this permaculture plot in Kinesi, they started working in December. They had nothing there. They started building the fence and planting everything, creating the swales, planting everything. So now they're starting to harvest their products of their work. The first thing that they have been harvesting are cabbages. So they're bringing cabbages home and everybody's very excited about it.
Mimi napenda sana. Kwanza nimesha nifurahisha, nimeshaona manufaa yangu, nimeshapata ufundi. Yani hata sasa hivi nikienda kulima shamba langu, yani naona ni kama kazi rahisi tu. Yani ukisha vuna kama banana zikisha weka matunda vizuri, maharage umeweka huku, machungu umeweka huku. Kwa hiyo ni nafuu Permaculture.
They don't imagine one day they can get safe water, clean water from a borehole. Is it true? Today we expect to get water like this.
The rumors about neem, tincture and MMS are spreading around the region. More and more people are coming knocking at our door at the office. They want to be trained how to produce neem, and they want to receive some MMS so that they can start to use it in their communities.
Solar cooking is the only means of keeping our health good and even avoiding the tree cutting problems.
We need to solve the issues by nature. So that is our target.
We are based mainly on training as the only way of empowering the community in material ways, so that one day, after being trained, we'll change.
If we can able to make the life easier for the people living in Musoma, in Mara region, I think it will be easy to change, even to make the life easier to every part of Tanzania, to every part of Africa. It will be possible.